majority of my time in the bike industry was behind the camera, and tonight I'm transferring all the files from all of my hard drives onto this little guy right here. I figured as long as I'm doing this, I might as well share some of the stories along the way. When I was filming, it was the era where people like Paul Bass and Brandon Semenuk were still making a name for themselves. There were so many random and interesting stories from behind the scenes that maybe didn't come out in the videos, so I'm going to tell those stories and show you some of the clips that are coming off the hard drives. I hope you enjoy it. Kelly McGarry was our big man from New Zealand, and we used to spend every winter in New Zealand riding with him. There was this really special place downtown in Queenstown, New Zealand called Dream Track, and this massive, massive jump followed by a big drop. One day Kelly decided he was going to flip this gap. It had to have been at least 50 feet, and everybody was kind of freaked out. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong that day, but for some reason he was totally committed to doing this flip.
Hi, I'm Kelly McGarry. I'm from New Zealand. I'm a Queenstown local. Dream Track and Mini Dream is a terrain park. It's about 5 minutes out of Queenstown. It's got a lot of different stuff there, kind of caters for everybody. Mini Dream, which is a flowy little line with maybe 15-foot gaps, 20-foot gaps, and then there's also Dream Track, which has got anywhere from 35 to 50-foot gaps. One of my goals was to flip the third jump, which is about 50 foot long, because it seems like the only thing that ever went down over it was no-handers and maybe no foot can. No one's really taken it to the next level, so it was just something that I wanted to do. Aaron and the Summer Shred crew came to Queenstown, and I thought that was a pretty good time to get it done. I was just about ready to go up to the Dream Track, and I looked down and my shock was blowing and there was oil everywhere, and it kind of just seemed like it was a sign not to do it, and a lot of people were telling me not to do it, but I'm not really that superstitious, so I still wanted to get it done, so I borrowed a shock off my friend Emily's bike and put it in my bike and headed up there. I was super nervous, there's no doubt about that. As soon as I took off, I think I knew I had it, and it came around all good and I landed perfectly. And I did the road gap afterwards because I thought it would be wrong not to. Just finish the whole line and enjoy it.
In 2008, I found myself in this tiny resort with the Iron Horse team in Pila, Italy. It was the week before the 2008 World Championships, and they had just finished building Sam Hill's bike. No one had seen this bike yet, and I was the only guy there with a camera, so I got to capture his first few training runs in that brand new bike. I had a short break in 2008 between some World Cups, and I was in Italy, and I got a phone call to meet up with this guy, Vittorio Brumotti. I hadn't heard of him before, but they told me he was a trials rider and a huge deal in Italy. So I meet up with him in this random town in Italy, and we're having this lunch outside, and all these people start swarming him. And from my background in trials, I've never seen any trials rider get swarmed like that. It turns out he had the cover of Maxim magazine that month and a huge spread, both modeling and riding. I've never seen anything like that before. It was amazing. So then after we finished signing autographs and taking pictures with everyone, we went out and had this epic day of riding, and he fired out all these clips in one day. Brumotti's still going super strong with the trials thing, and he's been experimenting with all kinds of different bikes, road bikes and cruisers, you name it. He's been doing some really incredible content. I'll link to it above.
Ciao, sono Vittorio Brumotti, 100% Brumotti, ricordatevelo, ricordatelo anche te, amico mio.
Every now and then they let me in front of the camera. Here's a clip from our time at Woodward when I got the crazy idea that I could probably do backflips too.
You got scared. You knew you weren't landing your phone that time. You knew you had to commit, so you got scared. I'm afraid of commitment.
We were in Canberra in 2009 for the World Championships. At this point, I'd been filming World Cups for a couple years, and just like everyone else, had been waiting for Peaty to win a World Championship. He was so close so many times, and this year in Canberra, he finally got it done. It was so special to be next to him when he did win, and I've got a couple clips to share from what happened after the race in the Santa Cruz tent.
World champ, nothing more to say, world champ.
Got this from Glenn Jacobs this morning. Gave it to me and said, I think he gave one to Lopes a long time ago when Lopes won a world championship, and he gave me one. And he just gave me just for fun, but I put it in my race pants and kept it in my pocket, and that could have been the key. I don't know.
He's a bastard for giving it to you.
I'm here with a world champion, 2009. There it is.
Took it off, but it's like covered in champagne and cold.
Look at that, bud. You better hold that up. How's that feeling for you, mate?
You can hold it for a bit more now.
It's nice because
I'm
it's
over
yours.
it now.
It's nice because it's yours. Amazing, mate, wasn't it?
Absolutely amazing, yeah.
Is it sunk in? No.
I don't think it has now.
We better stop it there. We're going to enjoy.
I don't know. Fucking film me crying if you want.
In 2009, we were at the FISE contest in Montpellier, France, and we were taken to this nearby dirt jump spot that had these beautiful red poppies just everywhere. I've never seen anything like it. Sam Pilgrim was at this event as well and riding the dirt jumps with us, and I got a bunch of footage from him. At the time, he was already one of the best riders on his way up, but it's been crazy to see how far he's come. If you're not following along with what Sam's doing now, you definitely should. One of the big freeride projects that I did outside of Match Video Zine was a project called Summer of Shred. Phil Sundbaum and I traveled all over the world and rode all kinds of different bikes with all kinds of different people. We were in Africa with Hans Rey, we rode bikes down icy bobsled tracks, we traveled to practically every continent to ride bikes, and it was everything we hoped it was going to be. One of the more memorable spots along the way was this hip in Capetown, South Africa. It was this bank to staircase with a rail in the middle, and a few people had done little tabletops over it, and Phil got the idea that he was going to tailwhip it. The highlight of the Summer of Shred project for me was going to Africa with Hans Rey. Of course, Phil was in front of the camera, but I had a big hand in all the planning and stuff, and I've always wanted to film with Hans and always go on a trip. I grew up watching all of his videos, and it was surreal to be the one holding the camera with Hans Rey in front. It was everything I hoped it was going to be. We delivered bikes for his Wheels for Life charity. Phil even found some free ride lines there, doing a tailwhip right on the border of Kenya and Tanzania. It was epic, to say the least. Thanks again for watching and listening to my stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, and I'll continue to share more.